My rule of thumb is always, if you have 10 big blinds and less, you take every profitable jam. While here now, Jack 10 suited is basically break even. So we literally have hit the hand that is whatever. Let's crush. Here we go, part 2, how to make $20 or how to make, how is it, $50,000 out of $20? Right?
Yes, we make part 2 now.
Part 2, exactly. Welcome back, René. If you haven't watched part 1, we analyzed a couple of hands already in the previous part. That was the Micro Million main event, $22 buy-in, and René managed to reach the final table, and we're gonna go through some of the final table hands, some very crucial ICM spots, what to do against 3-bets with certain stack sizes, open shoving. We've prepared a couple of spots, and yeah, let's get right into it. The first hand, ace queen off. You decided to open raise with 3 big blind shorty, and you face a 3-bet from bad joker.
Yes, I think this was one of the most disgusting hands in the live stream. The people say you cannot fold like your ace queen, and it's like, it's a hard decision. We have one player with 3 big blinds.
Yeah.
We have huge pay jumps. I logged in like 11k in this where it was 6. So I have 11k saves. The next pay jump is $5,000. And the point here for me was, I have any value to play against him now, against his 3-bets. What I want to do here, I think I have to wait that this player on the top is out, and I get the next ladder.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I'm really interested. What do you say to this spot? Because the one important thing in this situation was, bad joker was not like the guy who wants to go crazy in the spot. He's like his normal range he's playing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. In theory, we just fold against a 3-bet. Calling is also pretty nasty. We only invested 2 big blinds. And only if you have a read that he's very much out of line, then you could consider going all in and just picking up another 10 big blinds here, which is not too bad either. But that's totally the standard play, just to raise forward this hand. It's pretty straightforward.
Yes, the net toss over him, he was like the crazy guy. I like think I jam when he's 3-betting, I jam against him.
Yeah.
He was so aggressive in his plays. But the bad joker, he was straightforward. He has pocket jacks in this situation, and I don't see the value to call here out of position.
He had jacks. He had jacks.
Yes.
I think he should just jam it or call. I don't like the 3-bet, because if he jams, we have to fold ace king. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, not sure if people on a $22 final table that he expects that from the average player, but yeah, technically would have to raise fold ace king off at least.
Yeah.
I would never open jam anything here. It's basically not making you any money. You risk your 26 big blinds to win those 2.5 big blinds. Yeah. That's not really good risk.
Yes. And so I decide also to fold this hand.
Yeah. All right.
This was one of the interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, it's always pretty ugly when you have one of these strong hands and then you face his 3-bet.
But you say it's hands like only equities, only numbers. It's not like you want to hold your hand for, I have a strong hand now, I want to keep them. It's only about numbers here in the situation. And
that's true.
I think it's easy. It's not the emotion to connect you to your hand. I have ace queen, I have ace king, put it in.
Yeah.
So it's only a hand.
Yeah.
So
that's true. 7-4 suited. I mean, this is a spot where a lot of people are lost, and this is something where it's also really hard to study, right?
Yes, it's. I think this was the most critical hand in this final table for me, where I have the point I don't really know it was good or bad, really bad, or was maybe good play. I don't know. So let's go into the hand. I defending 7-4 suited here. I don't know if I want to play now. I think not. Not after, but I think a lot of time of this hand, and I don't want to come in the situation to flop a flush draw. Maybe I don't like it.
Yeah.
So when I flop I really like it when the board comes 8 high or something. Then I like it. But it's, in the statistic, I don't know how many times the board is so in my favor that I can play this hand.
Yeah. Let me quickly show you guys how you can study these spots. The first one, if you have access to the Turn Masterclass, we have different ICM scenarios in our range viewer. You can see here a bunch of different stack size distributions. And what you can do is just look for some stack size distribution that is similar. We see here a spot where under the gun has 20 big blinds, hijack 35 big blinds, cutoff 15 big blinds, button 8 big blinds, small blind 50 big blinds, big blind 50 big blinds. So we want to take a scenario where we are in the big blind, where we have between 10 and 20 big blinds, and we defend against a late position raise that has a similar stack. Because we see here, we both have the similar stack. We both have around 15, 16 big blind or 14 big blinds. He's opening from a late position. Now we can see, I just make you screenshots and send you that in Discord, so you can also see the range that I am talking about.
Yes.
Here we go. So this would be the range we're roughly playing for this kind of scenario on a final table. You see here the hands we're calling, green ones, and we actually see we don't really want to call a lot. We actually prefer a very aggressive strategy. We even, and that's the funny thing, and this is something I say a lot on stream, that even with 15 big blinds, you want to do a lot of 3-bet folding. You basically 3-bet to 5 big blinds and you fold to an all-in. So you even 3-bet call something like ace, king, queens, jacks. ICM can get really weird. But just imagine the hands he's opening. Let's take the respective open raising ranges. So we go here, cut off 15 big blinds. And also the immediate response versus a big blind, 15 big blind. And we see he's still supposed to raise forward the hand like king 10 off, ace 9 off, ace 5 suited. I mean, what are you going to do in the cutoff with ace 5 suited? You're going to fold against the 5 big blind 3-bet with your king jack off, ace 5 suited, same as against all in. But against for the big blind and non on 3-bet is just so much cheaper, right? So it's a very, very powerful strategy from the big blind that most people are actually not aware of. And you can then work your way through different bunch of scenarios to see what you're supposed to defend against the bigger stack here, or from cutoff, what you're supposed to jam with your 15 big blinds, what kind of hands, or what you're defending from the big blind against the small blind, against the hijack here. So it's pretty in-depth, but we see that here 7-4 suited is definitely very far away from defending. Your intuition is right, because a lot of the times we're just going to flop a weak second pair, and it already nasty continuing. Already flush draw is not so appealing in this spot. So we're just going to be very, very tight, because his opening range is also really tight in this spot.
Yes.
And you don't need to have the exact scenarios. Maybe here it's going to be even tighter, because this is against cutoff, right? Against the cutoff range. Here he's from the hijack. But it gives you at least an idea what roughly to play. And this is so much better than what everyone else does, because like you do, 7-4 suited looks kind of okay, and I'm just going to call, right? But it's not really based on knowledge. And just having a little bit of knowledge gives you a massive edge, because these spots are so heavily understudied.
Yes. I thought this was in this situation I don't feel pretty good.
Yeah.
But when I was in this tournament, I thought like, okay, he's short, and this has now a really big impact when I'm winning now against him. And then I thought, okay, my hand has a playability, but
yeah, but it's not good enough, because your equity just sucks so much, and most of the time you just end up check folding, and you give him just another one big blind, which is also not good.
Yes.
Another way of studying is, this is something, if you guys are subscribed to Paired, you will find, and this is something we're going to introduce very soon, another tier in Paired, an opportunity to study this with our ICM scenarios, where you get a bunch of spots that you can practice. So we are importing a lot of different ICM scenarios, and you can practice this. So for example, for this scenario where you have 35 big blinds, this was a recent Sunday Million final table that we are using that you guys can practice. So you can test yourself whether you want to be calling or 3-betting this hand, and you can also review the range. So you see, okay, in this specific scenario, we're going to be defending like this. And you can practice different spots against different stack sizes. We see now that the small blind is opening, and we sometimes face a lot of these scenarios, right? 11 big blind stack, 3x open raises. What do we defend against that in theory? Do we jam it? Do we call, right? Actually, or we jam. So we see here roughly what you're supposed to do, how aggressive you're supposed to be in theory. So it's a very profound way of studying these spots. And we see actually here, King 6 suited, we're doing a mix of calling and 3-bet against the hijack open. And we can again review the range. And we see that certain hands are not so, especially the 6x probably has something to do that more 6x are going to be in this raise folding range. So this is just a very powerful way of studying, of reviewing, and then also seeing how you perform in the spot and how far you're away from getting these spots correct, right? And before you jump into looking into solution, always try to assess what kind of hands you would roughly jam. So here, ace 4 suited, I would jam. I would check back a few more of the ace 8, ace 9, because his limps are going to contain a lot of 9x, 8x, and 7x hands. So we dominate those. So I think I would, oh wow, we actually check those. We check the ace 4 suited here. But anyway, this is a way of studying it. Just wanted to show you this. If you have access to Paired, you will very soon see those ICM spots coming with another tier in Paired. All right, let's continue the hand review. So yeah, 7-4. So basically, I would even fold 7-6 suited. I mean, there's not a big difference between 7-4, 7-6 suited, because he's not opening pocket 5s, pocket 6s. So this is, you want to start having having the opportunity to make good pairs. So 10-9 suited, 9-8 suited. I mean, you see the range, right? It's like, I mean, even 10-9 suited doesn't really like calling, doesn't hate folding. Being very tight is right in the spot.
But what you say, you defending like 9-10 suited, or?
I think I would have. I would have expected 7-4 suited to be a clear fold. Same for 7-5, 7-6. These low suited connectors just really want to fold quite a lot. But I think I would have defended 9-8, 10-8, Jack 9 suited. I think I would have been a little bit too loose there as well.
Yeah, I'm see the ranges and I think, okay, make a mistake, and now I can improve that on my later game now. It's
Absolutely.
not like I'm idiot or something. I'm like to learn this. And my thought was like, okay, maybe I'm jamming like Queen 9 and I seed it, or something like Jack 9 suited. I like to jam. And then I thought, okay, maybe the low things I can maybe I can protect, but I'm falling now. It's better. But after the flop, I have
King 10 off. Yeah, I mean, on the flop, he's still gonna have ace 5 that he bet folds. I mean,
so you jam the flop.
It's both. It's both fine. King 10 off.
Yes, this was like yes, we can look at in the King 10.
Yeah, do you call this?
In the big blind?
Mm-hmm.
I think yes, but I don't know. We have the 3 big blinds stacks there. Small shorty. So I think suited we defending. Offsuit, I don't know 100% sure, but I think yes, but I don't know.
It's also 2.5x open, right?
Okay, so you say complete.
No, I'm asking you.
Yes, I defending this hand, but it's close, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's a clear fold. You can tell me.
Yeah, I think, to me, this is a clear fold pre-flop. These ranges are very often going to be, even if they both have ace queen, it's just like we need the ace and queen a lot. And I mean, you see even here in this spot, if you flop this hand, if he bets, he calls, we kind of like already, we are behind most of the time. So I would even fold king jack off. I would try to be suited. Even king 5 suited is better than king 10 off. So I'm definitely folding king 10 off. King jack off, I can see reasons for calls, but I think also you've just seen how tight we're supposed to defend. The calling range from Nethers is just so strong that and also you said bad joker played pretty straightforward, so I would just I would go with king queen off and then the suited king x hands.
Yes, that sound right.
Yeah, that's the king x I would defend here. And then on the turn, yeah, it's
it's getting a little bit wild on the turn, I think.
I mean, the thing is, you have to pay 4 big blinds, and yeah, I mean, you can be already drawing that. That's the problem.
Yes, this is why I'm folding on this turn, because I don't see here. I don't see a good flush draw here. Maybe I complete down to 0 or down to my straight flush draw. I don't know if the 10 is good. I don't know. I don't know nothing in this hand, which is a good river card. So I deciding to fold here the turn. And I don't see any money. If I even hit my king or 10, or I can only check. Maybe I have to fold this river. So I don't see value to call this turn.
No, I think you made a good lay down there, but it's a fold pre-flop in my.
Yes.
Let's do not do the jack 10 suited as of now. The sim is still running. We're going to be looking into some HRC results for this hand as well, and let's look into the pocket fives.
Yes.
You limp.
Yes. This was like my. Sometimes when I have a really aggressive player on the big blind, I try to play a limping strategy. So this was at the beginning at the fine table, and I don't really want to raise fold this hand. So maybe I can fold this hand and not playing. It's an option for me. But I think this hand is too strong, and when I have like, I don't know, queen jack suited or ace 10 suited, maybe aces kings, I had a lot of hands I want to call here, because the big blind was a really, really aggressive player. So I decide to make some limping strategy at the button here.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
I think it's fine. It's literally whatever. I like your adjustment. I would probably go ahead and take it's quite big. I mean, if he opens 5 big blinds, we call 6.5 big blinds is really, really big.
Yes, and we had a big discussion in the stream. A lot of players say, okay, maybe you can jam this here when he's like doing like this, and I don't think it's a bad idea. It's maybe okay. I can put down now like 9 big blinds when he has crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can. So I mean, he's not raising 9-8 suited or jack 10 suited. He's mostly checking it. So he's either on 9s and better, ace queen and better, or ace jack, or he's having like 10-4 off, right? And you can just re-raise to 10 or 11 big blinds even, and then fold. Yeah, I like
not
that
jamming
as well.
or what?
No, I don't think jamming makes sense, because just think about the parts he. And this is very important for everyone that is watching to understand the difference, the importance of playing against a polarized range. So he's going to be opening, just it doesn't need to be exactly like this, but against an aggressive opponent. So he has these hands, he's opening, he's raising, right? And then maybe he has a few of these ace jack, ace 10, king queen, ace jack off or whatever. And then he has a bunch of this crap here, right? So or whatever. Here, something like low suited. So the thing is that with your 10 big blind 3-bet, you have exactly the same fold equity as going all in. But if you're wrong, you only lose 10 big blinds instead of 30 big blinds.
Yes.
Right? So maybe if you go 9 big blinds, he calls ace jack, ace 10 suited or king queen suited, which we would have folded against an all in. But you just, in the other instance, when he has a big hand, you just save yourself so much money and so much EV. And it doesn't really, because most of the player, he's not going to have a balanced range. So this is especially on final tables, when you have that read, especially at the beginning of the final tables, I would really execute on these reads and just fuck it, just go for that 10 big. I wouldn't make 9 big blinds. It's quite cheap. He could technically then click it back to 60 big blinds. So I would choose a sizing where he has to go all in or fold, which would be 10, 11 big blinds.
Yes. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, in this situation, I trust my instincts and go not on this spot. And I saw he had kings.
Okay.
And I was like happy.
Yeah, but his sizing is, I think if he has a bluff, I mean, the thing is, like, usually people would then go for like 5. The 6.5 is pretty insane.
Yes, I was in this situation. It's like sometimes it's like the 1 or 2 big blinds different, where you can feel now. Maybe when he has like not a so strong hand, maybe he'd make like 4.5 or something like this.
Yeah.
Because I think, okay, now you make 6.5. It's like in his nature. Maybe he make it automatically that he think, okay, now they don't believe me. Now I make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah. I don't go that far. Sometimes the level war is not that good, and usually on final tables people play their real game, and if he has a good hand, he wants to raise a little bit bigger. Stick to that. And I wouldn't have hated it. I mean, at the end of the day, you would have only lost 11 big blinds here. You still have 26 big blinds. It's okay. It happens. So, yeah. I wouldn't have hated the jam either, but I just think with a 10 big blind 3-bet, you just accomplish exactly the same.
Okay.
All right, let's look into the Jack 10 suited hand.
Yes.
And I have the result here. I'm going to just send you a screenshot and the solver wants to have a min-raising range. So we're basically going to, and this is very important for everyone watching, that with 10, 9, 8 big blinds, you can still min-raise, right? So the first screenshot that I sent you is what we're supposed to min-raise, and the second what we're supposed to go all in with. And we see that Jack 10 suited would be a break-even jam. And with your edge on this final table, I think you should skip it, even though you have only 10 big blinds. And I mean, considering you're going to be paying the big blind the next hand, it's probably an okay jam. This is where I would say, let's not continue wasting any more time on this. The main focus should be here. Okay, what is the rough range we're going to jam? We see ace jack off and better, ace 9 suited and better, pocket 8s and better, queen 10, king 10 suited and better, and king queen off and better, and ace 5 suited. So what are the min raises in our range? So we see that this is roughly the min raising range. So hands like ace 8 suited, ace 7 suited are fine to raise because they're a little bit better. You see ace, especially ace 7 suited, is a little bit better than jamming. So especially the break even high blocker hands. So suited ace X, off suited maybe like is ace 10 off a raise. Let's see. Yeah, ace 10 off, ace 9 off as min raise, king jack off, king queen off, all these high card hands that have very poor EV in going on. And you see king queen off barely makes any money, king jack off slightly minus EV, ace 10 off almost break even. So these hands we're going to be putting in our min raising range, and we're just going to be jamming all the hands that have, are showing a clear profit. I mean, there's still some hands that the solver wants to jam even though they're break even, but we see it's a very low frequency. We can definitely see a big pattern here that he wants to jam those that provide a decent profit. King 10 suited, queen jack suited, all these full frequency jams are a signal, hey, they're very profitable, right? Ace king off, ace queen off, ace 10 suited, ace jack suited. We see all these hands. The others that are somewhat the frequency play are quite marginal. And then, of course, at some point, our pocket pairs become so strong that we want to be trapping those, such as ace king suited. Aces, kings, and queens are the hands we're trapping, and ace king suited.
Yes.
That's how we play the spot.
Yes.
In theory.
When the players have a little bit, maybe the big blind calling too much here. Is this changing for us? Anything
Not
here?
really, because your range is already so strong. Like, there's literally nothing he can do. If he starts calling more, it's good for you. He's gonna be losing EV, because what means calling more? Let's say, I mean, in this spot, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to fold jack 9 off, queen 9 off. Let's say he starts calling those. Do you mind that, looking at your min raising range that contains king jack off, ace 10 off, ace 9 off, king queen off, ace 8 suited, that he defends, let's say 9 8 off, jack 9 off, you still have aces, kings, queens, you really don't mind, right? Because you're just gonna have, even if he defends too many of these lower 5 4, 6 5 suited type of hands, you're still gonna have all the strong over pairs, right? And it's 10 big blinds. Once you hit something, he hits something, you're gonna have something better most of the time, which that's what we want in poker. Long-term profits, having the equity on our side that guarantees us the long-term profits.
Yes. This is why I'm deciding to fold here. Normal under ICM pressure here, I think jam is fine. We see it.
It's jack 10 suited, the queen 10 suited, the other hands where, it's whatever. You can jam, you can fold. If you give yourself a decent edge, then folding is pretty good.
Yes. When I thought there was some hands with like 0.02. Is this much in this situation? So
no, not really. The thing is that basically, even though there's another short stack, with you having 10 big blinds, you want to take every profitable spot. It basically means that you make 0.01% of the prize pool, right? So
Yes.
It's not a lot. But like aces, kings, you already make, with jamming on average, you gain, in terms of equity for your own stack, you gain, I mean, this, I think it was 1.46 something or 1.5. Aces 1.48 in equity you gain by sometimes someone calling just so strong that, or you just accumulating the blinds that, winning the blinds with your push or being called, having so much equity. Ace queen off, you win 0.35% in equity. So if you take your entire prize pool, right, ICM calculates the likelihood of you finishing first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, gives you a certain overall value of your stack. That is your equity, so to speak, which you can also see on the bottom right, and we see that us having here the smallest stack, we have our stack is 13.6%. We see the button 11.91%. So these are the values according to ICM before the hand and after the hand here on the right. 1 second. So thank you. So this is where, in order to understand these numbers, that we in ICM with going all in with winning chips, you gain very little, but like, of course, just with going all in, you're not going to be winning half of the prize pool, right? So it's just tiny chunks here and there that you win with your all-ins, with your calls in the long term. And this is how it works. And this is how these numbers are supposed to be interpreted. The way I always do it is I look at aces, the EV that I make with aces, because this gives me the highest possible EV I will generate, right? Because ace is the best hand. So yes, the max EV I'm going to gain on average with aces 1.48. So then, let's say if I have 15 to 20 big blinds, I try to at least make around 10% of aces. This gives me this little bit of buffer, or I don't even know if you say that in English, but this gives me a little bit of an edge to consider that I'm not taking every marginal spot. So let's say I have an opportunity where I can rejam and it says aces has 1.48. So then I'm looking for, every spot that is at least, 0.5 and better, right?
Okay.
So if I have ace 9 suited, I would not rejam it, but then everything that is above, like king 10 suited, king jack suited, would be good enough to jam. If aces would make 1.0, then I'm looking for every spot that where I make 0.01 and more. If aces make 5% equity equity gain, then I'm looking for 0.5 and higher, because I'm in general can print a lot, can make a lot of money. So this is how I approach it if I review those, and I know a lot of other good players are doing this a similar way, because there is not really a science. This hasn't been solved yet to consider the edge of yourself, where you should say, should you be taking this minus CV spot, which should be the hands you should be going all in with. And for me, my rule of thumb is always, if you have 10 big blinds and less, you take every profitable jam. While here now, Jack 10 suited is basically break even. So we literally have hit the hand that is whatever.
Yes, I get your point, and I think I studying this a lot, ICM.
Yeah.
And I feel good about this.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great fold. Not many would have did this fold. All right, last hand, ace 10 off.
Yes, now it's the situation.
This is interesting.
Yes. Maybe you have to run it down.
I will run it in the meantime, but what do you think? How do you think about this spot? And then I will share my...
Yes. In this spot, for me, it's this hand, the bottom line of bottom, like Jack 10 now. We had it now. I think ace 10 you can maybe fold, but this was my bottom. Ace 10 I think I call. The most of the time here. Ace Jack I call. Of course I call ace Jack, but ace 10 is like not 100%, but like 70-80% calling, I think, a lot in the long way.
Yeah.
We're down to 8 big blinds, and if we're winning this hand, we in the good shape to have like 19 big blinds, and we the important thing first is the ladder. Then the Supreme has doubled up now to 7 big blinds. And if he's losing in the butting in the situation, he's also down to 3 big blinds. So we have a great shape to that 2 players are going away before
busting
us.
before you, yeah.
Yes, and then I think, okay, ace 10 is here. When I have ace 9, I clear fold ace 9. But I think ace 10 is the cut where I'm calling.
Yeah, seems reasonable to me. I mean, the thing is, he's also going to be min-raising aces, kings, queens quite often. So he's going to have all the weaker aces. He's going to have hands like queen 10, king 10 suited, jack 10 suited. So I think ace 10 off is just a hand where we have to close our eyes and pray that we are ahead and we hold.
Yes.
I would be calling ace 9 suited, ace 10 off, maybe even ace 8. Yeah, ace 8 suited is close. Ace 9 suited, ace 10 off. Which was the weakest pocket pair you would be calling?
My weakest pocket pair, I think, sevens. Sixes, maybe, I don't know. 7.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think sevens is pretty good, and then sixes is similar to jack 10 suited, probably quite break even, and then fives should be...
Yes, fold.
Probably sixes is slightly plus EV, and then fives becomes minus EV. Let's see, the sim is about to finish. So king queen suited is quite interesting as well. I mean, it does really well against any ace and just crushes all. I mean, he's probably still jamming king eights. What was was he a very tight player, or do you think he's capable of jamming a hand like king 9 suited in this scenario?
question. He was, I think, a good player, but everyone was supposed going so tight, and we playing this the six players. It was like 1 hour or something, or it was so long because the Supreme has 3 big blinds, and the other one was short, and it's continue a lot of times. But the
Yeah.
players was really tight in this situation. I don't know. I think he fully King 9 suited, but I'm not so sure. But I think he
I
do.
mean, ace 10 off is a call if he goes all in with a range of around 34% of the time. So, yeah, if we make it a little tighter, I think this is a bit too loose. I don't think people are going jamming that loose. But I also think they're going to be a few traps with aces, even ace king suited, half of the time with jacks. He's maybe not jamming all of these. Maybe something like this. Just gonna run it real fast with less iterations, but should be fine. So yeah, you see in the screenshot that I sent you
Yes.
the range, and you see, but again, he's supposed to be shoving close to 34%.
That's too
Ace 8
much.
suited is somewhat break even. Sevens actually closer than I thought. I think sevens
Yes.
is much better in terms of EV.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised
Yeah,
now.
king
I
queen
think
suited is still
yes.
a fold. It's close though, but yeah, still a fold.
Yes.
Yeah, I think to be safe here, ace 10 off, ace 9 suited, sevens plus. I will remove some of the. I think sevens now. Actually, sevens is gonna get better because if we take out aces, kings, queens, sevens is gonna be much better. And also, we're gonna be removing some of the jack nines, queen 9 offs, king 9 offs that he's not jamming, which is also makes sevens better. We don't want to be flipping, right? In the best case scenario. So even though we already have invested the big blind and there's dead money antes and small blind, coin flipping should be okay, or being slightly at, if we're 56% favorite, we probably need only 42% equity with the dead money in the middle. So let's see now. And if against the 27%, so a bit of a tighter jamming range and jacks to aces trapping for the most part, yeah, sevens becomes a little bit better. And the ace X basically stay the same. And this is something you guys should also do at home whenever you work with ICM tools. Try to adjust the ranges, because on a big final table, people might be a little bit more scared money. They're not going to be shoving queen 9 off for everything when there's another short stack. So in reality, the ranges might be a little tighter in these kind of spots. But we see ace 10 off is still a crystal clear fist pump snap call.
Yes.
So
Do you how tight do you make his range now in this second?
from 34 to 27. So he's going all in with some of the king 7, king 6 suited. He's going all in with some of the 10 8, 9 8 suited. He's going on with almost any ace, jack 10 off, queen 10 off, queen 9 suited, jack 9 suited. I mean, even if I take out some of these, ace 10 off is still gonna be a profitable call, just because he
Yes.
has all the ace X. Actually, it's gonna stay the same, because some hands are going out, which we are flipping against, such as queen 9 suited, king 9, king 8 suited, and some hands we dominate, like queen 10 off or jack 10 off. So maybe it gets a tiny bit worth, but not a lot.
Yeah, what I'm interesting to see is like the difference between ace 10 off and ace 9 off. I think it's a really big difference, you see. It's like from 0.6 to 0.06. This is why I decide to say, okay, ace 9 I want to fold here, because it's like really close. And ace 10 I think it's really good, because ace 10 plays good when he's jamming like jack
Yeah.
10, or I'm dominating so much ace X, and
Yeah, but ace 9
really
suited is still good enough.
you
Yeah, ace 9 suited is a
wouldn't
call.
call it?
Yeah.
And you like, and
It's not even
okay,
close.
and ace 8 you suited
Ace
you.
8, ace 8 I fold, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yes, I call and it's fold.
nice.
He has king
Nice.
queen offsuit, was fine.
Great. And once again, congrats on, you got second at the end for $55,000.
Yeah, $50,000.
You got $50 for getting third in a $20 tournament with like 30,000 runners. That's
yes.
good.
We made a heads up deal at the end. This was like we playing a lot of time with this six people is what a lot of time, and I don't know, a few hands later the Netos is jamming. And I had ace jack in the big blind, and I calling, and he has pocket fours, and the flop was ace 4, and I was down to 3 big blinds at the 6 players.
Yeah.
And then I doubled up 3 times, and I was back in the game.
Nice. Yeah, poker can be quite fast.
Yes, this was
right.
really wild, and but I like all my decisions at the fire table. The 7-4, I now improved it to my game. This is really important. Yes, the pocket fives was really interesting, and
yeah,
a lot of hands at the fire table. It's what the ICM pressure was really high because 30,000 people is playing this tournament.
Yeah,
a lot of buy-ins at the fire table.
Yeah, for sure, that's true.
But
all right,
yes.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining and providing us with hand history. I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you have any other questions or things you want to share with our audience, or is it just GG guys? Thanks for the money.
No, I really like the spots, and a lot of players have the decision in the $11 or $20 tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
To go so far, and I have a big community, and the people like they're getting place 20 or 50, and maybe they do nothing wrong, but to improve your game with ICM study has a lot of value to become like, how do you survive a fire table?
Yeah.
You have to study the situation. It's so much value for you. For like 6-7 years, I was like in the same situation. I make so big ICM mistakes, and for my when I decide my game last year and this year, I make a lot of improvement to the next level and study with race reaction, ICMizer, which range I have to defend, what is the ICM, and I go to boss size to understand ICM and playability of a hand, and you have to see boss size of it.
Yeah,
I think this improved my game a lot of. And yesterday I had another fire table and winning like 15k, and I was not like, yes, I'm winning. And after the tournament, I looked 2 hours the replay of the hands of the whole fire table to understand what they're playing and what I'm doing. So it's not like I'm going back, I'm winning 50k, 50 on 15k. And you have to improve it, and this is the succeed I see.
Yeah, that's some very wise words at the end, guys. So take it serious. ICM is important. There are a lot of tools and ways to study it. One of the ways is watching this review and picking up on a few things, but it's inevitable to also dive into some studying with solvers. Or Hold'em Resource Calculator is a great tool that I'm using myself. You're using ICMizer. I think both have their advantages, benefits. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. A more in-depth ICM study here today with Renemastermix. Congratulations once again on the score. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to like and subscribe. And then see you guys next time. Good luck at the tables, and GG Rene.
Thank you. Bye-bye.